Hello. Yeah, I'm capable of talking for absolutely hours about I'm a scientist, as you'll know if you've ever met me at a party and inadvertently asked me what I do for a living. I'll try and keep it brief. Give me some kind of signal when my time's up. This time, almost exactly this time a year ago, possibly a little bit later in the evening, I was listening to Tom Hartley, the person who was defeated by Stephen Curry. I was listening to Tom Hartley very drunkenly try and tell me what I'm a scientist meant to him in a pub round the corner from here. And as he was doing this, I was thinking, I wish I could preserve this moment in amber forever and kind of get it out when I'm having a bad day and like stroke it. Because it was so moving to hear someone telling me how much it had meant to them and what a fantastic thing, you know, we were doing. But to be honest, actually, that's not very fair because there's a lot of moments like that we get in I'm a Scientist. Whether it's chat rooms full of students kind of going, don't shut the chat room, don't shut the chat room, even though it's the end of the school day and they should all be going home. They're wanting us to keep it open so they can carry on talking to the scientists. Or whether it's scientists telling me that it's changed the way that they think about science and it's changed the way they think about their work, getting all the questions from the students that made them see things in a new way. Or whether it's the time that a teacher told me that she would cry if we didn't give her a place in the next event because it meant so much to her and the classes that she worked with. And I'm gonna read out a quote now. This is a question that a student asked in the most recent event. I don't really do well in science, but you inspire me, and it makes me want to do science more. Hopefully, you will get back to me. Could you give me some advice how to do more well in science, please? Now, that question, moderating that question, actually had the moderator in tears. And the most amazing thing about doing this job is the way that it affects students, this way it affects the scientists, even it affects the moderators. That people get involved in it and it really means something to them. And what I'd really like to do, I left my glass sitting over there, damn it, but I'd like to raise my imaginary glass. Someone's bringing my glass. Thank you. I'd like to raise my glass and say thank you to all the participants we've had over the past 3 years because you're what makes it all happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did I go over 2 minutes?
I haven't a clue, I wasn't counting. So I'd just like Tom Zitten, who, when we first started this event, we applied for a People's Award, which Tom was managing, and we first met at the Cheltenham Science Festival 3 years ago to talk about this, and I think Tom's been watching ever since, and he's going to say a few words on behalf of the Wellcome Trust. Thank you.
Thanks. When I started at the Trust, it was early 2007, and I thought, what a great idea to go to Cheltenham Science Festival, and I'll advertise that I'm going there, and maybe somebody will want to meet me and talk about ideas for projects. I remember that first meeting, sort of sat out in the garden, glorious sunny day, and I thought, this is a crazy idea. This is never going to work. No, I didn't think that at all, but I did think it was a risk, and I thought, this is a really interesting idea. I'm so glad we have supported it. The Wellcome Trust is really interested in supporting some interesting ways of engaging the public with science. What this project really does brilliantly as well is really has an impact not just on the audiences, the schools, but on the scientists themselves. And actually, you may not know this, but it's actually had an impact on the Wellcome Trust as well, because of Sophia's constant going on about what do you mean by aims or objectives, and what's your application form asking for at this point. So we've actually changed our processes of actually awarding grants on the basis of these many questions. So thank you for that. I think it's a brilliant project. I hope it continues to go on and be as successful as it already has been. And any people here who are from other funding organisations, do feel free to step in and help the project go on to greater and greater things. So brilliant. Thanks for spending our money so well.
Thank you very much. I was promising Sophia that I'd do my Bob Geldof impression. Those of you that remember 1984 and asking for the money, I think, was it with Thatcher? Anyway, I shan't go to that sort of level of profanity, but what I will do is do my Gwyneth Paltrow and do some thank yous, because there are still some that are unsaid. And first of all, thank you very much to the Wellcome Trust. You have backed us. You've really supported us by hosting events like this. And that support in all forms, from Lisa, from you, Tom, from the other Tom, from Ben, and if I've missed people out there, Jen. Where's Jen? Jen supports us on the press very well. Thank you. It's been wonderful. We really, really appreciate it. Other people to thank, there's the Institute of Physics, who are hiding behind the corner there, who are our first sponsor, who weren't from the Wellcome Trust. And again, your support has been gratefully received, and I think it's added a real dimension to the event. Thank you to Nelson Thorns, who, still here. We're due to have left. Good job, I remembered. Who have also sponsored all our teacher communications this June. It's been nice, it's been wonderful to get someone who's not a traditional funder of this sort of activity on board, and hopefully they'll be hanging around and we'll make more of it in the future. And also to the research councils who sponsored the Healthy Ageing Zone, again, to give us a different dimension and try out different things. And as Tom says, let's have some more of you people who might have that potential to get involved in that way. Drop us a line and get involved. Before I finish with the final thank yous, I just wanted to point out, we've talked a lot about individuals, which is really important. Those stories of students, teachers and scientists are really important. But also this event has got scale. And there's a leaflet down here talking about just what that scale is. I won't go through it, but we've reached, just in the last 2 years, over just short of 16,000 students, which is a phenomenal achievement, even though I say it to myself, no, I'm not going to go through it. But also there's some teacher packs, there's promotional postcards. Please grab some, take them away. Have we also got some certificates? Yeah, right. We've also got some certificates which the scientists who took part in June would like you to come and get. I'm not going to do it as a big formal thing, but so you can go back to the bars after I said my final thank yous. And those final thank yous, I just want to thank the team who have helped us make it happen. Mike Little. Where's Mike? You can't hide, you're too big. Oh, there we are. Mike Little, who's developed the site this time. It's been absolutely phenomenal. He's a magician. He was, for those that care, one of the co-founders of WordPress. The better looking half, apparently, he tells me. But unfortunately not the richer. Mike's been an absolute star and helped us to do things which would be impossible. And when I look back at the feedback from this year's event, the praise for the site has been fantastic. Thank you, Mike. Thank you to Gareth Coxon, who's not here, who's our designer, who has designed the site very well. Thank you. Thank you to Rosie, who joined us in January, who's been brilliant in the 6 months so far. She better keep it up. But mostly thank you to Sophia. Sophia, whose this project has been her lifeblood for the last 3 years or so.
Obsessive.
Completely. Thank you very, very much, Sophia. And as Frank Burnett said, it is the most imaginative, best use of web in science communication in the last 30 years and the 30 years to come. Thank you very much, Sophia, for all you've done. Thank you. Right, as you were, back to the drinks.